Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and today I'm going to be checking out one of the new Beasts of the Mesozoic Raptor Series figures. This one is the Saurornitholestes. Boy, I hope I said that right. But this one specifically is a special colorway that is inspired by the Looney Tunes Roadrunner. Yeah, that's really what this is inspired by. I've taken a look at some of the awesome Beasts of the Mesozoic Raptors in the past, so make sure you check out some of my other videos on those if you're interested in these. Basically, these are 1/6 scale dinosaur action figures that are super articulated, they're highly detailed, but they're also more scientifically accurate. So for example, in this case, our raptors are feathered, exactly as we've come to find out that raptors really were. So that's what they're based upon. But the folks over at Creative Beasts have actually done some really neat colorways. This one here specifically, like I said, is inspired by the colors of the Roadrunner, which is what we got going on with like the light blues and the yellow on the beak there. I think that is a lot of fun. So I'm really excited to open this up and get a closer look at it here. But you can see it's a nice window box there. You can see there's a cool little checklist on the back showing some of the other raptors that have been released in this series. We've even got like some nice artwork here for this new character, along with some information on there. Look at that. We got like location, time period, all that fun stuff is on there. The artwork is on the front as well. This is also a nice little slip cover kind of thing. You can remove that if you want to. And it gives you the full window box showcasing our raptor figure within. So really nice packaging presentation, but let's go ahead and get this opened up and take a closer look at the raptor within. Alright, so we've got our runner outside of the packaging so we can take a closer look at him. If you've not seen any of my videos on these in the past, I'll give you some quick measurements here so you know what to expect. He's nearly a full 12 inches in length from the tip of his beak to the tip of his tail. I've got him bent just a little bit there. And you can see right now I've got him standing where he's about 4 inches off the ground. Upright, he'll be around 5 inches. The figure is actually in the 1/6 scale. Because if you know, or maybe you don't know, actual real life raptors that are feathered and bird-like like this were much smaller than the raptors that we saw in movies like Jurassic Park. So this guy's actually meant for the 1/6 scale size. However, if you want to put him with your 6 and 7 inch action figures for a more Jurassic Park sized raptor, I gotta say, he looks pretty great standing alongside those figures there. Really fits in very well. Now, David Silva, the man behind Creative Beast, is actually a toy sculptor who's done work for companies like NECA Toys, so maybe you recognize his style here. So that's exactly what we've got going on with this raptor, and the sculpted details are beautiful on these guys. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. Not to mention the paint deco is totally insane. I mean, all of the colors and details we've got going on here really help to bring all of those sculpted details to life. Now, our runner here is very unique because you can see they painted the tip of his nose kind of in this yellow and orange color, which gives him more of like a bird-like beak to the front of his face there. But then he's got these beautiful blues, dark blue, light blue, like a medium blue, all kind of brushed in there. You see there's some nice dry brushing. There's some blacks as we get to the edge of the feathers. I mean, the paint swirl in there is amazing. And all of those details can be seen all throughout the body of this beast. I love that there's a little bit of a gloss on some of the deeper blues. This can be specifically seen on the plume on his head and the wings that are sticking off of his arms, and as well as the nails. You can see he's got those deep black Velociraptor claws on his feet, and they've got that nice gloss to them as well. The overall paint deco is absolutely astounding on this guy and really helps to bring out all of the details. Now, I mentioned he's Runner, is like the nickname for this, and that's because the paint deco is inspired by the Roadrunner, Looney Tunes character. That's why he's kind of got this front end painted orange, and he's got this colors theme going on here. I think it's fun when toy companies have a little bit of fun with their designs and give us some really neat colorways like that. But seriously, even without that reference, this is a really nice color scheme. I love those blues. So let's talk about the articulation on this guy if you're not familiar with these. They are very posable. So let's start up here at the mouth. Look at that. You can open and close the mouth, and if I get close in here, you can see all of the teeth in there. beautifully sculpted. They're actually quite pointy as well, but they've got that nice kind of gloss paint deco on there as well. And then you can see the tongue inside of his mouth is also articulated. Look at that. I can like roll the tongue all the way around. Mwah. That's awesome. Really, really amazing stuff. So look at this, the head is jointed on a ball joint at the top of the neck, but then also the base of the neck is jointed there, so that kind of rolls all the way around as well. So really good motion there in the head overall. Look at that, you can kind of turn the head sideways. Look at that, great range of motion there. You got these nice little ball joints at the arms, kind of like the hinge joints. So the arms can go outwards, they can move forwards and backwards. You can bend them at the elbows, and then you can also bend up here at the wrist, which kind of cuts the feathers. So you can see the feathers kind of roll around there as well. The torso is jointed, so you can kind of roll it side to side, kind of rock it all the way around. You do have ball joints there at the thighs, which you can pop off a socket. It's very easy just to kind of pop those back on there, but those are ball jointed, and they're nice and sturdy up here at the top. But you do have nice joints at the knees that can also swivel there at the knees. You got a joint at the lower portion of the leg as well as at the toes. And then the big raptor claw toe is individually articulated, so you can kind of stick that up or bring it down. I like that quite a bit. You can also move the tail around in a couple different spots. So you can kind of swivel the tail at the base, but then you've also got a nice ball joint there. You actually have to attach the tail when you first open this. And the rest of the tail has got the nice wire worked inside, so you can see it bends all around, holds its shape no matter how you bend it. It's awesome. So the articulation is really great here. You should be able to get a lot of poses. One thing I will point out is that the toes there and kind of the lower portion of the legs are a bit too weak to hold up the weight of the whole thing. That's because of the design of the character mostly, I think, but you can see it's hard to keep him standing on his own. You can kind of position the feathers like as a tripod or even his tail a little bit if you want to, but the good thing here is that this figure does come with a display base, which is specifically for the reason of getting this guy posed, specifically in some dynamic poses if you want to get running and stuff like that. So you got this really nicely detailed base here, which is very cool, and it'll allow you to pose the figure around on the base. One of the other things I wanted to bring up is some of the interchangeable parts on this guy before we put him on the base. So he's got interchangeable toes, which is really cool, and the purpose for this is so that if you want to pop these toes off, you can put on the second pair of toes. You can see they're more close together, and they're also more flat for a more flat-footed stance. So this is more if you want them in a running pose versus standing flat on the ground. That's what the toe options are for there. And one of the things that's really cool with this base is if you turn it to the flip side, there's a nice indent under the rock with two little pegs there. This is specifically so that you could store the toes that you're not using on the underside of the base. Let me get those attached on there, just like that. And I thought that was really clever. That way they hide really well under the base, and you won't have to worry about losing the small parts. The other thing we can do with this guy is the little feather plume on top of his head is interchangeable. So if I want to just pop this out of the peg, and I can attach this one with the much bigger plume of feathers on top, you know, much more Roadrunner-like look, I guess. You could pop that on there. It just fits in the little peg slot real nicely. It's nice and tight, and then now we've got a completely different look for our raptor. So let's bring it back over to the base here. So we've got a couple different clear rods. We've got a really tall one, which is gonna be great for like jumping poses. And then we got two shorter ones for just standing or for running poses. These are all ball jointed at the bottom. So you can pop them into the center of the base there. Just gotta kind of work it into socket a little bit. And once it's in there, it's nice and firm. So you can see, and you can flex it all the way around, but it holds on really tight. And then we've got a couple different kind of clips here. You got just the regular little kind of C-ring, like a shorter C-ring so that you can just rest on top of it. This is gonna be good for your standing poses. And then we've got one that's got a little bit of a tighter clip on there, which is gonna be perfect for if you're doing like the running or the jumping poses. We've also got this little extra piece we can attach to the top of the rod there. So it kind of curves it over just a little bit, again, which is gonna be great for some of your jumping poses. So this clips right here to the bottom of the figure, and then you could find some different ways to pose him, as if he's jumping into action, as if he's running into battle, whatever you wanna do, and it works really well. And this is how you keep this guy really standing, but also allows you to get some awesome dynamic poses, as if he's running across the ground. It's really, really very cool. So there you go, my friends. There is an out-of-the-box look at the new Saurornitholestes, that one right there. But we're calling him the Runner. He's the Runner, the nickname for this one, because he's got that cool Roadrunner inspiration. I've been a big fan of what Creative Beast has been doing with the Beasts of the Mesozoic lineup. The Raptors are a lot of fun. I think the sculpts and the paintwork are absolutely gorgeous on this. You know, like I said, the standing is a little tricky, but when you're using the base, especially if you're just going to be displaying these guys in some dynamic poses, it works out really well, and they are very, very fun. So you can get this guy through Creative Beast's website. I'll make sure I link that in the video description, but also make sure you guys go back to check out the upcoming new Kickstarter, because the next line of dinos he's doing are a whole line of the Ceratopses, you know, the Triceratops and stuff like that, and that is launching in September, and it looks like it's gonna be awesome. So massive thanks once again to the folks at Creative Beast for sending this along so we can get a good look at it outside of the packaging. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, leave me a comment to let me know what you think, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, my friends.